Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Good Time Movie Reviews. I'm Wyatt. That's JP. And today we're talking about what all of Twitter is talking about in my world. It has kind of become a little bit of a phenomenon. Sinners. Sinners out. Go see it. If you haven't, don't watch this video until you've seen it. We will be talking about all the spoilers. JP, you saw this in IMAX, correct?
Yeah, I saw it in 70 millimeter IMAX projected film. Yep.
Talk me through your experience with it. I have obviously know what I think about the movie. We have not talked about it. What are your thoughts? What was your experience like? Give me everything.
I will say there were two reasons I went to go see it in IMAX. One because Ryan Coogler literally told people on YouTube to go see it. That Kodak video on the Kodak official YouTube channel was really cool. So that convinced me to buy an IMAX ticket. I was gonna go see it in AMC until that video. And the Indiana State Museum has an IMAX theater, probably one of the best IMAX theaters, because it's not a dome, it's a flat screen, so there's no, like, distortion or anything. Very well designed, and I think it sits about maybe 400 people or something crazy. Like, it is a huge theater. Like, Oppenheimer, I watched Interstellar in it. I if you want if you're in Indiana and you want the biggest movie-going experience, you wanna make a movie special, you go to the Indiana State Museum to watch it. It is amazing. So the crowd was probably the best part of that IMAX experience
Oh, wow.
because this is a Ryan Coogler movie, and so, like, the the Black community in America shows up every time Ryan Coogler comes out with something because of Black Panther. And also like Fruitvale Station and a lot of his stuff. So it's a different energy in the theater. People are there for like more than just, oh, I'll go see it. Like they're there to support him.
It's like a celebration
Yeah,
almost.
it's a very different energy. And it's really funny because this movie, Sinners, the first 40 minutes are like all set up. Like here's the world, here are the characters, the character web. Like 40 minutes in, we finally get the vampire, and immediately it is a horror movie at that point. And the audience in the IMAX theater completely changed. It became like a lot of people were talking at the screen in a fun way. Like it wasn't
Yeah.
obnoxious. It was really fun. And it was so weird that the first 40 minutes people were quiet, kind of absorbing everything. And as soon as like the sun goes down and the woman's like, "Where's my husband?" Immediately, the crowd's like, "Oh, he did." Like it was so fun to hear people talk to the screen and like be excited about being in the movies. It was
Yeah.
a fun time. I will say though, this is a hot take. My brother was in Louisiana and he went to the Britannia Theater because he lives nearby. That theater was showing 70 millimeter ultra panavision, so the film was going this way, IMAX is going this way. So there's two different aspect ratios of this movie. One is super wide and one is really tall. IMAX is really tall, that's what I saw. He saw just the super wide version. That's the better version for the movie. I was sitting there are 3 scenes where I'm like, "Okay, the IMAX is worth it." Every other scene in this 2-hour, 20-minute movie, I'm like, "You don't need the IMAX." So, if you are nearby the 7 movie theaters that are showing the 70 millimeter Ultra Panavision version, go see it. It's easily sold out. You're not gonna be able to go see it. But if not, I mean, just go to the biggest screen you can. You don't have to go to IMAX. That's a hot take on my
I
end. You don't
I
have to
love it
go.
because your hot take is arguably also your nerdiest take you've ever had as we've been doing these reviews.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
I think 90% of the people watch is like, "What is he talking about?" But I like that. It's
Yeah.
cool. I didn't
Yeah.
even know there was a I never would have, like, known there was even a difference there. I wouldn't even looked out for that, but I saw it with the common folk and just normal screen. But I had a similar experience where it did feel like just like a celebration. People showed out for this
Yeah.
movie, and people are showing out across the board, and we can talk about how it's doing later on. But there was almost an interactive part of this movie where the audience felt like there was a moment when the sun goes down, everyone kind of sat up a little bit.
Yeah.
Everyone's
Oh,
like, all
yeah.
right, we're buckling in. And
Yeah.
that's not to say that the first 30, 40 minutes weren't riveting as well. Enjoyed the
Yes.
world building of it.
Yeah.
And you realize, oh, we're just setting up all these characters that are about to be in this barn for the next night in the next hour and a half of this movie.
Mhm.
But I wouldn't have mind a movie where it's just that first 30, 40 minutes. Like, I want to see how these brothers react to coming home and do like
Yes.
I
Yeah.
love that part of it too. So
Yeah.
that's just a really cool part of the story altogether. But there was one I'm trying to remember the specific point, but at one point, uh one of the twins like reaches out across the doorway and then the guy who's like the bodyguard, the bouncer,
Yeah,
reaches out and
cornbread.
takes a bite. Yeah,
Cornbread.
so
Yeah.
I forget why he reached out and then he attacked and then
He
they had to
wanted to
pull
get
him.
paid. He did this.
That's right.
I want
So
payment. Yeah.
as soon as he did that, one person in the audience just screamed, "That's an invite." And then as soon as they said, "That's an invite," the dude launched and everyone kinda laughed in the theater, like, it
Yeah.
wasn't obnoxious, it wasn't, like,
Yeah.
interrupted, it was just like, "Oh, we're experiencing this together." And
Yeah.
that's the first time where I don't like horror movies, and I wouldn't necessarily put this as a horror film in my brain, but
Okay.
I I kind of got it where, oh, it's almost like a communal experience when you're watching something
Yes.
that is attempting to make you feel uneasy. So I kind of understood
Mhm.
it in a way that I've never really understood it before because I've always just avoided like jump scare horror, all that. It's like that's just not what I enjoy, but I
Yeah.
really enjoyed the hell out of this movie. It was so good. And as I was sitting here thinking about like prepping for even this show, I was like, I gotta have some negative takeaway. Like, well, I gotta have some like nitpicky point, and I haven't really gotten there yet. So I don't know, but let's talk about the movie in general. Like, what stood out to you? Obviously, you enjoyed it on the IMAX
Mhm.
screen, but the movie itself, what stood out to you? What are kind of your highlights?
I would say my big highlights, I do wanna preface the 40 minutes before are, like, what make this movie really special, because as soon as the sun goes down, this is a 90-minute vampire movie. Once the sun goes down, 90-minute vampire movie, but then the movie keeps going after the 90-minute vampire movie. There's a movie inside this movie, and it's really interesting because, like you said, like, the audience is there for that, and it's, like, a fun genre, horror, creepy, kinda schlocky, like, fun. I go to the weekend, and I'm gonna see people eat each other in a barn, and it's all gonna catch on fire. It's gonna be really cool. It's that, and then sandwiched by, like, a Ryan Coogler, "This is my first original personal movie." It's very interesting, the structure. I think the script is the strongest part of the film,
Okay.
and it's not, like, jump scare, it's, like, creepy, ominous, and the fact that it's also like, it's a folk supernatural musical. It's blues and folk music kind of butting heads for one night, but because of that night, you as the audience understand that they're kind of two sides of one coin. And the way they use music in this movie is fantastic. It is amazing.
So good. And like
Yeah.
I think we could talk about this movie forever. I
There's a lot to talk about.
There's
Yeah.
so much. And like you said, I think it's a pretty bold swing by Ryan Coogler for his first original movie. Like, this is like a very personal movie to him, and you don't
Mhm.
really conflate those type of movies with like a vampire movie.
Yeah, it's
Like,
interesting,
yeah,
he's like, "I'm going into genre, I'm doing horror." It's like,
yeah,
"Whoa." It's
yeah,
a complete left turn from where his career was going.
yeah.
It's
And
very interesting.
I do want to say, I don't know if I missed this in the marketing. I didn't know it was full vampire. I really didn't. I knew it was gonna get weird, and I like
Yeah,
you see Haley Steinfeld in like the trailer, like all bloodied up and like, all right, things are gonna
with
get weird.
sharp teeth.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, maybe I missed the teeth a little bit, but
Yeah.
like, oh, it's gonna get spooky. So I didn't know we're going full. This is a vampire movie. It's a fair, and
Yeah.
I if you would have told me that going in, I would have been hesitant, but
Mm,
I really enjoyed the hell out of it, and I think let's talk about Michael B. Jordan first because
yeah.
I think the supporting cast is unfucking believable in this movie.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
but Michael B. Jordan in general, just him for a second. How do you think? Because it's kind of strange we got back-to-back months where a character played 2 versions or, like,
Yeah.
it was in the movie,
Yeah.
like, were the 2 main characters of the movie. How would you
Mhm,
compare it real quickly to, like, Mickey 17? Because we praised Robert Pattinson for the way he had 2 characters very distinctly different, and
mm.
we thought he was probably the highlight of that movie with some serious flaws, I think. How do you think Michael B. Jordan handled that and just kind of navigating 2 different characters that obviously it's just him?
Yeah, again, there's a lot to talk about this movie. I think Michael B. Jordan is best as an actor in a Ryan Coogler movie. For some reason, Ryan Coogler knows how to use him more than any other director he's worked with. And I'm gonna be honest, one of my biggest uh critiques of this movie is we don't get enough Michael B. Jordan. There's two of them, and we don't get enough of them. I think the Smokestack Twins, the coolest fucking name ever.
Mhm.
And the fact that Stack wears red and he's the loud, reckless one, and Smoke wears blue and he's reserved and he crunches the numbers, and you hear their history. The way this movie like introduces information to you, very well done.
Yeah.
Um, through Preacher Boy, who's the real main character of this movie,
Yeah.
in a very interesting way. Um, so we know the Smokestack Twins story, but because it's expensive to do twin effects on IMAX film, like they filmed it on film, I think that kind of influenced the scenes they were together and the scenes they weren't together. They split up a lot.
Mhm.
Um, I needed a lot more of them because Michael B. Jordan's really good, but when you have a movie with such a crazy ensemble cast, you're gonna make sacrifices. There are some characters that it's like I needed like one more scene. I thought I was gonna go in one direction and it wasn't. And then there are other characters like oh, I was supposed to look up her name. The Creole magic woman that Smoke
Mhm.
is in love with. That actress, blanking on her name, she's been in a lot of HBO shows. She's fantastic. This is the first time I've seen her on the big screen, and it's like finally. She was in Lovecraft Country on HBO. She's in Loki. She's a
Yeah.
great actress. This is finally her big in a movie projected on the big screen. She deserves it. Haley Steinfeld is getting way more attention, even though her character is a lot smaller in the
Yeah.
movie because Haley Steinfeld's hot. Uh, but that actress, I need to look up her name. But I'll let you
Yeah.
talk while I look up her name.
Yeah, no, I the whole supporting cast, I think, is really the highlight here, and it's
Yeah.
because you could talk about Michael B. Jordan, and in another world, this is like a Michael B. Jordan talking point of like, "Oh, this is Michael B. Jordan at his best," but I think it's almost overshadowed by this is Ryan Coogler's movie. This is Ryan Coogler
Yeah.
just, "Hey, I'm one of the best, and I need to be in that conversation because and I have a list later I wanna bring up of, like, directors that puts butts in seats. He's on
Mhm.
that list,
He is
hands
now.
down.
Yes,
He's
he is
very
now.
much on that list, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, the supporting cast, and I wanna talk about the guy who plays Sammy. I think it's Miles Caton is his name. There is a scene, and obviously there's the scene we'll talk about in a second. But there's
Yes.
one scene where him and Michael, B. Jordan, I forget which twin it is, I wanna say it's Smoke? I don't know, but they're driving and
It's
Miles
Stack. He's hanging out with
is
Stack.
stacked. Okay,
Yeah.
and then Sammy sings for the first time in the car.
Yeah.
and Stack has this look in his eye
Yeah,
and this face where it's almost mirroring the audience. The audience is like, "This voice is coming out of this guy right now.
yeah,
What is happening?" And it's this look of just shock, and I love that look so unbelievably much. It's so cool. Um, but yeah, this Miles guy, wow, what a coming out party
yeah. Did
because
you did
that
you
voice.
stay did you stay all the way to the end? To the
Yes, yeah.
final credit scene?
Final one where he's singing in the
Yeah,
church? Yes.
yeah,
Which, by the
okay,
way, obviously, if you're watching this, you've seen the movie, but if you somehow missed the final 2 post-credit scenes, I'm
yeah.
so sorry for your loss because
That's
my goodness.
that's actually my biggest complaint about the movie. We'll get to that
Yeah.
later.
Okay.
The actress is oh, I'm probably gonna say this wrong. Wunmi Mosaku. She is fantastic.
Awesome. And then
Yeah.
I would say the other, lady who is, oh, what's her name? She's in, The Batman. She's the new up and coming mayor. Um, she's, the one who is tied with Sammy's love interest.
Oh, Jamie Lawson?
She's so good too. The whole support, like, there's
Yeah.
no one mails it in at all. Every
No.
performance is so good.
Well,
I did
yeah,
yeah.
and I think Ryan Coogler kinda spoke about that where it's like, "Look, this is my first super personal original movie." Like, the way he said, "I did this movie now." I listened to a few of his interviews. He's
Mhm,
like, "I did this now because my team that I worked with, they were all available right now, so we had to do it." And he's filming on celluloid, so those cameras are loud and kind of expensive. So when you're an actor on, like, Ryan Coogler's next big movie and you hear the camera rolling, you're gonna do the best performance because if it's digital, it's like, "Oh, let's do another take. Oh, let's do another
yeah,
take." If it's, like, film, it's like, "I gotta make this count because if they run out of reel and they have to change it, it's my fault." So, like, I think it kind of influences the performances. They are there to show out. They're there to be showstoppers, all of them.
mhm.
Yeah,
And they are.
they
And
are.
the other, big thing big takeaway I think from this movie is just from online discourse is the score. Ludwig is
Mhm.
I mean, he's putting himself up there, the Mount Rushmore,
He
because he is
yes.
incredible.
He's the next Hans Zimmer. Like, he's already replaced Hans Zimmer on jobs he was too busy to have. He's worked with Nolan because Hans Zimmer was too busy with Dune. That's where we're at, where he's, like, number 2,
Yeah.
and I think he's, like, 35 at this
I was
point,
gonna say, I
but
don't he's not even
it's
40 yet,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
just killing it. It's unbelievable. Oh,
Roommates with Ryan Coogler at USC.
that's crazy.
That's that's like they're like the new commercial for USC. It's like,
Yeah.
"Look, your roommate will help you win an Oscar in 5 years." It's like, "Oh my gosh, what the hell?"
How many
Yeah.
roommates at UNC Film School right now are like, "That's so us. That's gonna be us in, like,
Every
10
single
years."
one of them, every
Yep.
single one of them. If, like, you are in grad school for, like, "I'm gonna be a director," and your roommate's like, "Yeah, I write music as well." They're like, "I got it. I got it." He's like,
Mhm.
"I'm in." Yeah.
Um, before is there any else specifically you wanna talk about this movie? Because I wanna kind
Yeah,
of
I yes.
branch off and talk about, like, the importance of this movie, but let's stay,
Real
like, within the
quick,
narrative.
let's talk about, I think there's 2 big scenes that this movie will be known
Oh, yeah,
for,
yeah.
but let's talk about the one that everyone's talking about, is when the kid sings for the first time at the juke joint, and the roof literally burns because he's singing so good, like, spiritually,
Yeah, he brings the
um,
roof down, yeah.
and the souls of the dead and the future show up to do a jam sesh with him. That scene should not work. If any other filmmaker did that scene, if any other composer did that scene, it wouldn't work. But because Ryan Coogler and Ludwig Göransson are like thick as thieves, pretty much, they're like, this is the most important scene in the movie, and it goes so hard.
Oh my
Seeing that
god.
with a crowd, people were electric.
Yeah.
It was insane.
I feel like the first, because like, the movies I don't know. the first 5 seconds of that scene where you start to see that it transition to multiple generations of music and dance, your first
It's
reaction is like, "What the fuck?"
Well,
And then
it
you're like,
starts with the
"Wait."
past. It starts with the past, so
Yeah,
it's like, okay, it makes sense because like it's a vampire movie, genre
yeah.
is supernatural. That makes sense. The second it goes to the DJ on the
Yes.
stage, that's when I'm like, oh, we're doing something different. We're
Yeah,
we're doing something new.
yeah.
Yeah,
And,
yeah,
like, your initial reaction is, like, to pull back and be like, "Does this work?" And then the whole
yeah.
rest of the scene, you're like, "This works so
This
hard and
works.
so well." Like, I
Yeah,
can't believe what I'm watching right now. Like,
yeah,
that's a once in a lifetime scene.
yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
Ryan Coogler, that poor man is gonna be chasing the feeling of that scene for the rest of his career.
Probably. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's crazy.
And the fact that the camera, it's like all one camera motion, and then it goes up and the roof burns down and the whole barn disappears and it like tracks out, and then we see the 3 vampires, and suddenly
Yeah,
it's like everything has been established in that one scene. We now know why everything that's about to happen is happening.
yeah.
And it's like no words. You don't even have to, I mean, they do have the Creole magic woman kind of
Mhm,
say multiple times, twice, that there's some people that are so good at music it brings the souls from the future and past. So it's like, all right, we have that little explanation, but then as soon as the we see the vampires like POV, that's the barn without the roof. Then it's
mhm.
like, okay, we know why he's here.
Yeah,
And that leads into my that's like the best scene of the movie, my favorite scene of the movie, and this is the only scene where it's like IMAX actually made it better, was, when I think the actor's name is Jack O'Connell,
yeah,
super Irish guy, is singing Rocky Road to Dublin with the like, the pretty much the fairy circle, folk circle of everyone, and he's, like, stomping his feet, and they're all playing the banjo and stuff, and it's like, that's the coolest shit I've ever seen, cause
yeah.
like, it's very Celtic Irish. It's not like most of the time you hear that song, it's in a pub and you're surrounded by, like, American tourists. That's, like, the best version you're gonna get of that song.
Mhm.
In this movie, it's the most authentic I've felt watching a performance of that song. Like, he is, like, doing full Irish dance, and he is a centuries-old Irish vampire, and, like, it's like a ceremonial gathering outside, and the way the vampires talk, very, like, hippie new age culty. "We're a society of love, come and join
Mhm.
us. We'll love each other in peace forever." It's like, there's no way that's actually true. Uh,
Yeah. But,
but
okay, I do wanna say,
yeah.
he does a good job of making the vampire like, they have an argument. They have a point.
Yes,
Where the
yes.
way the way they are convincing people to, like, "Hey, let's just, like, escape all this. You're like, you're gonna die. Like, let's
Yeah.
escape this and come live with us," and that I think that's why that scene works so well, because it doesn't paint the 2 big musical performances as, like, this one's better than the other. They're both incredible.
Yes.
And,
They're
like,
not they're not
yeah,
enemies.
yeah,
The music is are not enemies, and the people on either side are also not enemies. It's just a difference in how they want to, like, escape.
yeah,
Like,
it's just a perspective. Yeah,
it's
it's
perspective on freedom,
mhm,
because none of them are free, and how they use music to be free, and, like, where they are versus, like, Vampire or, like, Jim Crow and all that stuff.
yeah,
It's very, very there's a lot of meat in that metaphor, and
mhm,
so the fact that you're right, both those performances are treated as, like, authentically and earnestly and passionately as
yeah.
possible is very fascinating.
Yeah,
So,
he
yeah.
almost treats the vampires with respect. Like,
Yeah, it does,
that's how he does it, and it's so well crafted.
and it treats his Irish heritage with a lot of respect,
Yeah.
using using one Irish guy singing and dancing with instruments played by, in the movie, 2 KKK members, and then the extras that are dancing are all, like, black sharecroppers, and yet it's, like, one of the most Irish scenes I've ever seen. It's
Yeah.
almost impossible, like, saying that out loud, how does that
Yeah.
work? And it does. And in IMAX, because it's such a tall aspect ratio, it's like a full box pretty much. I'm seeing their hands, like, when they're up in the air and, like, down to their, like, feet as they surround him in the circle at the very end, and all of their eyes are shining because 'cause they're all vampires. That shot is the best one of the best IMAX shots I've ever seen. Because IMAX is really good with scale, but it's also really good with close-ups and very personal shots, and that's why Christopher Nolan's IMAX is better than anyone else's, is because he knows how to get close to the actors or far away. He knows where to put the actors to fill the frame in the right spots. And that one shot, Ryan Coogler Ryan Coogler met Nolan at that level perfectly, flawlessly. It was
Mhm.
incredible.
Yeah. There's so much going on. It just the more you talk about it, the more you're like, this is this is like a masterpiece. And
Yeah.
that kind of leads me into kind of a pretentious question, but I'm interested to see where we go with it is how important is this movie? Because we're seeing a lot of
Mhm.
discourse about what this is bringing people back to the theater, but I've heard that with so many movies since COVID. Like every big movie, every successful movie has saved movies.
Yeah.
Like Top Gun Maverick saved movie, Barbenheimer saved movies. So it's like, how is this different from those instances? Like, what does this mean for the film industry in general?
Yeah, so the problem we're having right now is the, "Oh, this movie saved going to movies." We've only had 1 of those, maybe 2 of those a year, and that's not sustainable at all. We're never gonna get another Barbenheimer. We're never gonna get that. Um, but the fact that we have Minecraft and Sinners, both Warner Brothers movies, I'm pretty sure
It's crazy, yeah.
Warner Brothers is digging themselves a hole every second, like, digging themselves deeper into a hole every second. The fact that they have the 2 biggest movies of the year so far back to back, like 1 and 2 of the box office is I I kinda wanna say it's luck, but I think there are 2 sides of Warner Brothers that are accidentally working well at the same time right now, and that's gonna help them out from bankruptcy. Um, and David Zaslav is getting a lot of heat for a lot of things that he definitely deserves by canceling movies for tax write-offs.
Yeah.
Um, there's a guy, I'm blanking on his name, that's in charge of movies for Warner Brothers. Zaslav is the CEO. There's a guy underneath him that, like, I think, like, discovered Paul Thomas Anderson. This guy has been part of Warner Brothers for a long time, and his job is at risk right now. But the success of Sinners and hopefully future movies in Warner Brothers like One Battle After Another, um, his job is at risk. I don't know if he'll keep it because of Sinners. I don't know. The press around this movie, executives are scared because executives love the status quo, even if their boat is sinking. They're like, it's fine because they always make money. Everyone
Mhm.
else doesn't. They always make money. Ryan Coogler's deal with this movie, he pitched it to, I think, every studio. He's like, I want full creative control. I want, like, picture lock. Like, you don't give me notes. This is my movie. And then after 25 years, I want the IP to come back to me, which is super rare. And
Mhm.
I think this is the big thing. Uh he wanted a percentage of the gross profits. So the thing with Hollywood contracts, especially if you're like a big star, like Mikey Madison, let's just say Mikey Madison. Her next movie, her agents are gonna get her a contract that gives her a decent percentage of net profits, not gross profits. And so Hollywood accounting, if you wanna look at, there's a Variety article they leaked. This was probably 10 years ago. Warner Brothers said Harry Potter: Order of the Phoenix lost money. They said that. Bullshit.
Mhm,
It was total bullshit. Hollywood accounting. So Variety leaked the production the budget of the whole movie, from marketing to distribution to production
mhm,
costs to actors' salaries. They leaked the whole spreadsheet to be like, where is this money going? It's going nowhere. You're just keeping it from the actors that have net deals. So a lot of actors get net percentage, but they don't get paid from those net
yeah.
percentages because the studios use Hollywood accounting to be like, oh, we didn't actually make money. So the executives always get paid. No one else does.
Gotcha.
So Coogler getting a gross percentage means he's getting money right now. I mean, it might
Yeah,
not be going to his bank account yet, but
yeah,
eventually it will be. He's already making money from this movie. And so execs are like, we don't want that to be a thing. So they're using the trades. They're using Variety. They're using there was a Vulture article that was also using another article. A lot of producers from other studios are first off butthurt that they didn't take Sinners. They
mhm,
didn't say yes to Coogler's deal. They're like, "No, that's ridiculous. We'll take the movie, but we're gonna give you notes and you're not gonna get gross." So he went somewhere else. He went to Warner Brothers and they said yes. I have no idea why they said yes. They're not in that position. Maybe they're so desperate they had to say
yeah.
yes because they lost Christopher Nolan. They had Christopher Nolan, and then during COVID, they lost him because they put Tenet on streaming, I think.
They
Uh
wanted to, because Tenet came out in theaters. I saw it in theaters.
It did.
Yeah,
But I think they wanted to do the dual
dual
release in
release.
theaters and
Yeah,
on streaming, and Nolan was like, "Screw you." And I think he went to I don't know where he went. I don't know if it's Universal or Paramount or something. I
I
think
think it was
Universal.
Universal.
So they lost like their big guy. So now Warner Brothers is like, "Well, let's get Coogler. Let's get a big auteur. We have Paul Thomas Anderson. Let's get another one." And that's the movie guy in Warner Brothers. That's not Zaslav. That's the movie guy.
Mhm,
Um, and so Warner Brothers was desperate enough to take this insane once in a lifetime deal. Coogler is never going to get this deal again. And he said that. He's like, this whole I'm going to get the IP after 25 years. This is a one-time thing. It's because this is
yeah,
a personal project. But other studio execs don't want him to be a good example. They want to use him as a bad example. So they're kind of raking this movie through the coals on uh, the journalism websites, the trades, Variety,
yeah,
Vulture, and other ones. So there's a lot of bad press about this movie,
yeah.
like, oh, it made this much money. And it's like, okay, that's 2/3 of the budget, of the production budget.
Mhm, and it's
If
been
it
out for 3 days.
if it was any other movie, that would be a huge success. But they're like, and that's why this is a bad thing. It's like, fuck you. That's
Yeah,
you're lying. You're lying through your teeth. So yeah, this is a huge success for Ryan Coogler, for Warner Brothers, for Michael B. Jordan. I'm gonna be honest.
mhm,
Um, it's a huge success for movies because theaters are gonna stay open. We had two movies this weekend gross over $40 million. That's insane.
it's
2.
awesome.
And yeah, so it's a huge success all around, except for movie executives, and they control a lot of how we see movies. They legit control how we see movies. So all the news articles that you see that are like kind of belittling Sinners, there's a money angle to that.
Yeah,
That is very frustrating.
yeah. No,
Yeah.
I think it's important for people to know that and, like, the intricacies of Ryan Coogler's deal, because
Yeah.
you're more likely to go out and like see this movie in theaters if you feel like, hey, I'm supporting Ryan Coogler. I'm not supporting
Yes.
Warner Brothers. Like I'm
Yeah.
not going out and making them more money. So I think like the more you can feel tied to individuals, you're more likely to go to the movies and make an effort to go see this and support it
Yeah.
monetarily.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times you just feel like, all right, I'll just wait for it to be on stream. Like I don't need like, oh, those big wigs don't need more money. But if it's director or even actor, like, hey, I care about this person and I feel like I'm actually helping them. And I
Yeah.
know from like their deal, if it's more public, I am helping them by going to see this movie. And like obviously there's a parasocial relationship there that we can talk about another day, but at the end of the day,
Yeah.
people want to support individuals they are interested in or like love their work and they just want to support that and they want to see more. So I think the more transparency, the better for the audience. And obviously, then it's like you said, if the studio is starting to feel like, hey, we're slipping here, they'll change up. So it's just a constant push and pull
Yeah.
dynamic there. But
Yeah.
I do think obviously transparency in general is just important. But I was reading up on that Ryan Coogler deal, and for the first time in a while, it's like been very interested in just the overall studio system of things because I think the
Yeah.
title, one of the articles, like this could be the death of the studio system. Uh,
Bullshit.
yeah,
Bullshit.
yeah,
Yeah. It's
it's a good tagline, but I
yeah.
don't know.
There's
It's
a
just
lot of
very
fear mongering for this movie that first off has universally rave reviews, amazing word of mouth, and a successful theater run already after, I'm going to be honest, not very good marketing. A
yeah,
lot of the marketing has been grassroots. A lot of the marketing has been reactions to these stupid news articles. I'm going to be honest, the trailer gives way too much away. Even though it doesn't say it's a vampire
yeah.
movie, it gives away a lot of people that die. Um, and or a lot of people that turn into
Turn, yeah.
vampires. And I think this is just a personal note. I don't think the posters are good.
Oh,
That's
I don't
just
even
me.
know what the posters look like.
Not very good design. It's kind of a hard. Not even. I don't know. I just don't think the posters are very good.
Speaking of posters, all-time poster run, Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts has some of the greatest posters coming out. I don't know if you've seen any of
They're
them.
pretty good. I've seen the
They're
one
good.
that's inspired by This Is the End poster.
Okay. I've seen the
Yeah.
one is the one with they're at the table with the asterisks. Have you seen that one?
No, I've seen the one where they're like all headlocking each other
Okay,
in the
yeah.
poster. Yeah. Yeah. Speaking
Yeah.
of Marvel, so I I I don't mean to like critique this movie too much because it's a great movie. It's an amazing script. It's an amazing concept. The acting is great. The cinematography is fantastic. The music is fantastic. The music are these no, none of these are original songs. It's gonna win best score. It's gonna win
Yeah.
best score. I don't know if there will be a performance at the Oscars. I don't know. But Warner Brothers is gonna pitch this movie hard at the Oscars. Um, so I don't mean to like I've already critiqued this movie more than anyone else I know. The stupid end credit scenes. Don't put the ending of your movie in the middle of the credits. There were people in my IMAX theater, and the IMAX theater in Indianapolis tells you at the very beginning there is a mid-credit scene, there's a post-credit scene. Stay. It tells you, but the movie is, crazy and big, and it's like, whoa. So you forget that you read that. So the credits start. The credits are starting over footage of Preacher Boy now grown up to
Mhm.
be a oh, I'm blank, but it grown up to be like pretty much the inspiration of a real blues musician,
Buddy Guy? Did I
Buddy
make
Guy.
that name up?
Yes,
Okay.
yep, Buddy Guy. I had to listen to that on a podcast. I did not understand that at all,
Yeah.
but it's showing clips of this character that of this Buddy Guy version of the movie through montage. So you get credits over montage. And we as an audience, as in a movie going people that have been going to the movies for some people 30 years, you see a montage over credits, you're like, all right, that's fine. So you get up and leave. And then once the montage is over, The ending to the movie starts. I had people in my IMAX theater leave before the movie ended. They missed the ending of the movie. That is honestly unacceptable for movies outside of the MCU to expect us to know that. That's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
I agree with, like, the expectation of it. If you don't know it's coming, that's tough because
Yeah.
you have to, like you have to be prepared for it. I also do enjoy it as almost like a jab or middle finger towards MCU type movies where, hey, I'm gonna do like a mid credit or post credit scene, and it's gonna be so unbelievably important and meaningful to the movie. So like screw you for making the audience sit there and wait for a credit scene that's just a cameo that doesn't matter about anything, or I'm going to give you literally the ending of my movie where you're already trained. It's almost like for the younger audience that's
Mm.
trained to sit there and just be fed whatever MCU gives you. And it's like, hey, you're already trained to sit here and wait for this mid credit scene. I'm going to make it count. I'm going to give you arguably like one of my favorite like endings. I really
Yeah.
enjoyed that. I really enjoyed it. It was like a 10-minute like epilogue. The entire epilogue is there. So
I
like
I
I
think
see it that way a
I
little
think
bit.
calling it an epilogue or a denouement or a resolution or whatever you want to call it is actually very fitting because the movie is very solid without that ending.
Mhm.
The whole he survives and he goes out, he chooses the guitar over his preacher dad, chooses pretty much the devil over God, um, and has a career. That's great. So that being like an epilogue, fine. It's
Mhm.
just the whole like he Ryan Coogler even did it for Black Panther Wakanda Forever. The real ending of that movie is like at the end of the credits. I don't like that.
Yeah.
Because
I get that. Yeah.
there is someone that goes home and then they see the, "Oh, here's what happened after the credits." And they're like, "What?" Like
Yeah.
I paid tickets to go see it and I didn't get the full movie. It's that whole
Yeah.
thing.
No,
Yeah.
I get that 100%. I see it almost a little bit as he fully understands, like, the state of the younger movie-going audience, where we are trained to, like, be ready for that a little bit and, like, keep an
Yeah.
eye out for that. So he understands that audience so well, he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna make that count even too," like, the end. But I see
Yeah.
both sides there, I really do.
Yeah.
I get your point where it's like, "Hey, just put it in the movie." Like, let's have that credits roll, get out of here.
Yeah.
Um, I want to do one thing where we go over the directors who put butts in seats, and then we'll give our
Yeah.
score and get out of
Yeah.
here. So I have a list of directors now that like current day,
Mhm.
this director comes out with a movie. This will put butts in seats, and I want to get your opinion on it. So I
Okay.
believe Ryan Coogler has made his way onto this list
Yeah.
with
Oh,
this
yeah.
movie. Christopher Nolan, I think, leads
Yeah.
that list.
Yeah.
I put Tarantino on there because at this point, when that
Yeah.
last movie comes out,
It's gonna
people are
be
gonna
it's gonna be a huge thing.
it's gonna be
And
huge.
people are comparing Once Upon a Time in Hollywood in terms of box office performance domestically
Mhm.
with Sinners. It's a very similar story with
Yeah.
he's like, I want to get full picture lock editing. I think he even gets gross profit. Tarantino in all of his recent movies, he gets that. So people are comparing how the trades have treated Tarantino with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood versus Ryan Coogler for Sinners. But I think Once Upon a Time in Hollywood did really well overseas, and
Mhm.
Sinners is not going to. It's a very American movie.
Gotcha.
Um, it's not going to do that well overseas. It's doing better than I think they expected. But it's a very American movie.
Alright, and then I have 3 more who I think are firmly on this list, and then a lot of, like, maybes that we can argue about.
Okay.
I think Jordan Peele is there. I really
Not
do.
anymore. I'm gonna say
Really?
not anymore. Get Out,
Okay.
yes. After Us, I don't know why. After Us, they people are not really showing up. People don't talk about Nope. Nope is an amazing movie. Nope is a perfect movie.
People like to talk about how people don't talk about Nope, though.
That is
That
fair.
makes
That is
sense.
me.
Yeah.
That is me.
Everyone's
100%.
talking about how no one's talking about Nope.
That's fair. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay, I could see that
I think he
argument.
peaked with Get Out. In terms of people
Okay,
going to the movie for him, it peaked with Get Out.
okay. What about Greta Gerwig?
We'll have to see with this Netflix Narnia
I don't
thing.
love this. I don't love this move by
No.
her. I really don't, but I think she has put I don't think she's missed.
I think
I think
she's
Little Women's close to a perfect movie. I
Little
think
Woman is amazing.
yeah. I
I
think Lady Bird's
think
great, and I am a Barbie
yes.
defender till I die, so
Yeah, well, yeah, yeah. I think she's gonna spin the Narnia movies to be her own thing. I think she it's gonna be a sneaky, um, well-made movie
okay.
or
I
series
trust
or
her, but I'm
whatever.
scared. That's where I'm at.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
I'm a little scared, but,
Yep.
I think we'll keep her on the list, and then,
Yeah.
Denis Villeneuve. I think
I
he
now
is on
yes.
that list, yeah.
He has broken into, like, the cultural zeitgeist. Yeah. It's
Okay,
him and Nolan that are, like, the kings of our time right now.
okay.
Yeah.
And then so here are my kind of maybes. Spielberg, I feel like the Spielberg and Scorsese are in the same category right now,
Ooh,
where
yeah.
Scorsese, I think even less so, maybe,
Yeah.
is because I just feel like it's been
Killers of the Flower Moon did not do
yeah.
well.
Yeah, like, people aren't like, "Alright, I'm gonna go see the Scorsese movie because it's a Scorsese movie." Like, they have to there needs to be something else to put them in the seat. And
Yeah.
Spielberg may be closer to the list than him, um, but I don't
'Cause
know. I
his
feel like that they're that
yeah.
moment where they are the box office pull has kind of passed.
Spielberg's movies are way more palatable. Killers
Mhm.
of the Flower Moon is literally looking at the evil rot within American society, and it's also like a 3-hour movie. It's a
Yeah.
really hard watch. I think Spielberg, the rumor is he's doing a UFO movie.
Mhm.
Like, I'm getting goosebumps right now. I'm gonna go see that.
Yeah.
He's much more palatable for an easygoing American audience.
Yeah. And then the last couple ones we can have a conversation about the Andersons. So PTA and Wes Anderson. Wes Anderson's like has like that cult following where
Yeah,
like you know what you're getting out of that
yeah,
movie. So in a sense, yeah, he puts a specific number of butts in seats every time.
yep.
I don't know if he's pulling in more. And then PTA, I don't know. I don't know where he stands on this list.
He's like one of the my blind spot directors. I've seen
Okay.
Boogie Nights. That's it. So I'm
Okay.
excited for One Battle After Another. I need to watch some of his stuff because I just have no idea.
It's kind of where I am too. I've Punch Drunk Love, Boogie Nights. And then the Safdies, I feel like may be knocking on the door
I would say
where
so.
this
Yeah.
could be a big year for them because they're both coming out with individual movies. Am I correct?
Oh, that's I know one has the Timothy Chalamet movie. I
There's
don't.
Marty Supreme and the other Safdie's doing the wrestling movie with The Rock, like the
Oh,
Machine or something
I'm
like that.
excited for that movie.
So I
Yeah.
think both of those could kind of
Yeah.
be, hey, we should be close to that list or on that list soon.
I
So I think
think
they're someone to watch.
I think there's like A24 filmmakers slash alum that are kind of in a different tier
Yeah.
because their movies are smaller, so they don't have to get as many butts and seats to be like a big draw.
Like Ari Aster maybe is on that list.
I'm thinking more Robert Eggers.
Okay. Yeah.
Robert Eggers graduated from A24. He's now Focus Features. Nosferatu, I think, was a $50 million budget movie, and it made well over 100 million. Like that was a
Mm,
huge success. I think Robert Eggers is, in terms of
okay.
like horror fans, he's up there. He's big.
Mhm. Yeah, I
Yep.
think he might be more divisive than most of the people on that list. Because
He's a
I think
really
there's
quirky
some
guy.
people who
Yeah.
are pretty adamant they don't like Robert Eggers movies. And maybe that's
Yeah.
just in my inner circle. I have people who are like pretty adamant who are like, I don't do it. And then some people love like swear by it. So
Yeah.
there's a little more divisiveness there. But
But I
uh
mean the numbers kind of show. I
yeah.
like I know girls that don't watch any horror movies, and they're like, "Yeah, I went to go see Nosferatu." I'm like, "You saw
Yeah.
Nosferatu? Like, what?"
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying Eggers.
Yeah, I think if you can pull someone in who wouldn't normally watch that genre,
That
then you're
that
doing
first
you're
off
doing something right.
that first off doesn't even know what Nosferatu is, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, that's a weird movie." I'm like, "Have you seen any of the other Nosferatu movies?" And they're like, "What do you mean? Is it like a prequel?" It's like, "No, it's the
It's
4th remake. It's the 4th remake." Yeah,
yeah.
crazy.
All right, let's wrap up with scores for Sinners. Where do you have this at?
I'm I'm gonna say there's a lot of hype with this movie that I think poisoned my reaction a little bit. Like it's not the greatest thing since sliced bread. It's not the holy grail of cinema. I'm giving it a very strong 8 out of 10.
Okay.
It legit would be a 9 if I think the whole him filming in IMAX and Ultra Panavision, pick one. That's just a me thing. Pick one because the aspect ratio changes always drive me crazy. Pick one. And the whole after credits, post credits thing.
Okay.
It's those two producer decisions drive me crazy. The script is
Gotcha.
fantastic. And also watching like a 90-minute vampire movie on film, like projected film, that's rare. So I do like want to celebrate this movie. I just think some of the big overhead choices Coogler did kind of rub me the wrong way. So I'm gonna give it an 8 out
Okay.
of 10. 8 out of
Is
10.
this so then I have to ask, is this your best movie of the year? Because you also have Warfare at an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, it's better than Warfare.
Okay.
It's talking about more things than Warfare. There's a lot of deeper symbolism and subtext and way better, way richer, more three-dimensional characters. Warfare, the characters are very uh undefined on purpose.
Yeah, intentionally, yeah.
This movie is like this is an Irish vampire. This woman is a Creole magic woman. These guys are gangsters that served in World War One in Germany and then worked for Capone allegedly. Like
Yeah.
they're archetypes that he's really dissecting. So
Uh,
yes. Yeah,
okay.
it's the best movie of the year so far.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm in the same boat. Is the best movie I've seen this year. I have it ahead of Black Bag's actually my highest ranked one. I'm giving it a 92 out of 100, which I went through and there's only a handful of movies I have ranked higher since 2020, which was an interesting like
Yeah. Yeah.
tactic for me to or like something for me to go through. I was like, I have Dune Part 2, Oppenheimer ahead of it. I have the Batman slightly ahead of it, Fableman slightly ahead of it. But yeah,
Wow.
there's like
Okay.
I love the Fablemans. I
Okay.
really do.
Yeah.
Which one of these days we should do a like rating my movie reviews because I would love to go
Okay.
through my rankings with you and just have you make
Sure.
fun of some of the obscure rankings. I have some
Yeah.
movies stupidly high, but
Okay.
that's a different episode we can do later on when there's no
I
movies to
like
talk about.
Fablemans. It's just you're the first person I've heard mention Fablemans in like 2 years.
Oh, I talk about it. I might be the only
Really?
one
Okay.
keeping it alive. I talk about Fablemans all the time. I
Yeah.
love that movie.
Yeah.
But all right, that we can wrap up there. Thanks everyone for watching. Go to the movies. Remember, tag us at do hashtag good time at the movies. Tag good time on Instagram where we post every single one of them because going to movies rocks and it's very fun. So keep
Yes.
doing that. We'll
Yep.
see you guys next time. Peace.